Hi, this is BZ Rieger. I'm doing a rambling by the river. I'm at the confluence of the south and north fork of the Stillaguamish River, and it's a good physical representation of flows of energy and force, strength, power, and expansion. And it's a good metaphor for the confluence of the energies, a confluence of shifting from one reality to the new realities, a confluence of the energies from the old way of doing things, the old linear earth, to the new earth, and being conscious and actively participating in our evolution, in our ascension, in our quantum up jumps of everything on this planet and in all. And one of the things I wanted to start by, as we were walking down here to this spot, Keegan is just having a ball, and he's weaving throughout all there's little, when the river gets low, trees sprout up quickly, and then the river gets high and they kind of get washed away. But he's weaving and running and having fun through all of them, and splashing in different shallow pools of both the South Fork and the North Fork of the river. And then where they actually come together, usually it's quite turbulent, it's quite forceful. And today there was a nice beach, a nice shoal, and there is a beautiful melding of the two rivers as they then turn and head directly probably west, southwest from here, to flow out into the Puget Sound and then out into the Pacific Ocean. And again, that was a really nice, tangible metaphor for we can make that flow simple or difficult. And I like too the melding of the two. So one of the things that comes up a lot in conversations with others these days is thinking of systems and structures and needing to fix them because they want to have more expansion and more abundance and more flow, for the new. And so just as the South Fork Stillaguamish River, which is an entity and a structure and a flow and a body of experience and existence, so too is the North Fork of the Stillaguamish. Different adventures, different scenery, different encounters, different connections, and two different realities. And as they come together, there is a unification, a confluence, and a coherence. And they become a new river, a new being, a new reality, a new entity, and go on away on its journey to new, more expansive, in this bodies of water, channels of water, flows of water, and another way for Gaia to have communication and light and energy and frequency, consciousness pass through another part of her being, her body. So that, aside from being a really fun play to play with Keegan, is a great metaphor and a tangible one for the realities that we're moving into. We are creating something completely new. And if we choose, we could choose to perhaps model it on something that was existing. Maybe because we didn't think to complete something new. Maybe because we kind of got lazy and we didn't want to work on fashioning something new. I don't know. For me, there's such awe and such expansion in, wouldn't it be wonderful if, and creating something completely new. There are no rules. You don't have to eat your dinner first. You can go straight to the dessert if that's what you want. We're not held and bound by any of those things. We never were. That's, one of the kind of secrets that unfolds when we realize that we never were bound by any of those things. What we thought were the, the laws of science and all those things were perhaps a small, shading and an angle of it without the scope of the rest of it being allowed to be seen. That was mostly the case. So we don't need any of that. If you're in your own reality, in your new earth, you want to create that, well, that's your choice, absolutely. Go with it. But realize that you're doing it consciously, and that it's a choice. And so the sky's the limit. The spheres of the galaxies are the limit. And that's only if you choose that to be your limit. And I'm talking about in intangible, touchable, experienceable realities on every level and layer and every concept, every structure, every system, every nuance, every encounter, every connection, everything. So when you play from that springboard, play with that as your ground floor, as your workbench, as your tools. And you've got all the tools. We've got all of the tools. And we can fashion a new tool, fashion a new construct, because it's at the behest of us. So that hiding it from ourselves does not exist anymore unless you choose it. So another thing that I was playing with as I was walking along is there's so many colors in the river and the flow of the two rivers, and you can kind of see different little eddies, little streams of color within one river, and as it swirls and joins with the other, and then it blends and gives another shade, a new variant of color as it swirls on and they meet. And for me, it was a beautiful illustration of, each of those swirls of color, of water, of energy, of creational flow, were different beings working together, coming together. Another thing that came to heart in the videos that come to me of creation are, um, you know, two aspects, two parts of our being, the same being. So myself flowing, you know, as the human in the shirt, so to say, and the totality of me, my soul, coming and blending in those colors, and forging that new bond, forging that new creation, forging that new entity that is going forth and creating so much more. And you know, hey, as I could see the streams of, you know, the two me's coming together, there were two streams coming together of another being and another and another, and some we just passed each other by, some, you know, we came into connection to coherence, and we're working on things, creating things. So it's the vastness and the richness and the delicious complexity, as in so much depth, and don't hit the camera, so much depth and breadth and nuance, and you know, we have, at least I do, the words I have are very pale into what, when you stand in the energies, when you play in the energies, when you feel them, they're magnificent. And you know, it's kind of funny, but you know, this cosmic, galactic, celestial, fantastical, you know, Play-Doh, or soft pastels, or, you know, whatever medium, you know, kind of conjures unlimitedness in playing with and diving right in, and the, you know, the vastness of the texture, and the music of the spheres, that you bring a little of this and a little of that in, and creating things. It's all right here, right now. There is no waiting, absolutely no waiting. And you know, who will you play with? Who will you create with? Who will you co-create with? Who will you just, you know, as Keegan's doing right now, he's standing chest deep in the water, as it, just watching the currents swim by, and he's connecting with it, and will then dance off on something he sees or imagines, or maybe it's an actual water nymph or something that comes and he plays. So all that is to say that it's here right now, and it's palpable and moldable and creatable and tangible and constructible, and, you know, new wordables that we need to create, because it's here now, and we're doing it now. It's at the behest of us now. So what you're going to create, what you're going to co-create. And, you know, it can be personal things, it can be small collective things, it can be global things, it can be, you know, galactic community things, it can be all of those things, with all of those facets. But we've got this. Let's do this. Time to, you know, in this confluence, as I said, let the old eddies and currents of waiting, of the perceived chaos or roadblocks, or, you know, it didn't happen yet, or it's been thwarted. It's all an illusion. It's all flopsome and jetsome bullshit. don't need it unless you choose it. And then, okay, cool, go play with it. But, you know, it's our choice. And I, for one, am choosing to get on it and play. So, anybody else want to play? Let me know. There's so much fun, so much complexity, so much expansion, so much to create and co-create and encounter and connect with and be with and flow with. So ride your river of the confluence of energies and discover the magnificence of who you are and your abilities. And watch, notice, as some of it goes by you and you encounter it for a moment. It's cosmically delicious. And we are this, and we've got this, and we're doing this.